Hey guys, I am back. I don't know if you can hear the rain all around me, but it was a dark and stormy night, and I had a Kubey knife in my hand, and we're gonna look at it. So, this comes to me direct from Kubey. They've got a couple of models that they would like to show you guys, and I love showing you guys Kubey knives. I love Kubey knives. There was, their product line has increased so much in the past few years. I remember once upon a time, I should have brought it with me for the unboxing here, but the Kubey, the old Kubey 003 was such a dependable workhorse of a knife, and they don't even make it anymore. But Kubey just keeps adding new blades. They just keep cranking them out, and this is one of the brands that first got me to look at knives made in China in a whole new light. So we're looking at the Kubey, if my camera wants to focus, the KU234 Tactical Folding Eerie AV work tool. Heavy, it's supposed to be a heavy work tool, I guess. Anyway, this is one of their new models. They're always coming out with newer models. And Kubey knives, I've been recommending them to people for years. They are built really well. I mean, they're, like I said, one of the first brands to really start to change the whole paradigm of only crap comes out of China. And now you do have some really awesome high-end stuff coming out of China. And the thing about Kubey is that they don't have necessarily different product lines, but they have different levels. They've got some stuff that is just, beautiful anodized titanium, high-end steels. They've got great, beautifully done carbon fibers, and then they have some much more affordably priced, I don't want to say lower end steels, but I'm going to say lower end steels and G10 and stuff like that. I cannot think of a single Kubey where you're going to find plastic scales on anything though. So this is from the more affordable line that Kubey has. And this one is, but the thing is, whether you get one of the more affordable ones or one of the, higher end ones, it's really just a difference in materials. You're going to get awesome, craftsmanship in all of them. And that's why I love the company so much. You're going to find, in the higher end ones, a beautiful, detailing and mechanics and everything. You definitely do get what you pay for with the more expensive higher end ones, but I'm going to show you one of those soon. But let's look at the 234. So this G10 color they call antique white, which honestly to me looks a little bit tan. I don't know, you judge for yourself. And it comes in some other colors as well. And I'll put a link to Kubey stuff so you can take a look. Now it's tip down only, which is an interesting choice. And here is your clip, and it says tip down knife. That's it. But you've got a G10 backspacer, no plastic. You've got some skeletonized steel liners. It's got a D2 blade. Kubey gives you actual D2. If you guys haven't followed another brand, I won't say their name, but out of China that I've reviewed on this channel, got caught basically giving you HCR13 and stuff and labeling it D2. They give you actual D2, proven D2, when they say it's D2. Some cool decorative stuff with the pivot there, and this machining on the G10 is actually fantastic for the grip. Now this is a little interesting from Kubey because I haven't, this one it's sort of boxy, and that kind of defies their style a little bit. They're usually a little more, they like to do these very streamlined kind of things, a little chunky, but it fills your hand pretty nicely. Got a little bit of weight to it. Of course, I'll put all the specs in text. Interesting little lanyard hole going on there. And this is a ball bearing pivot knife. Interesting flipper too, just the shape and design of it. That is some smooth action. Here's the liner lock. The liner lock is super easily accessible, and feels actually really good compared to some liner locks I've used in the world. No stress on your thumb at all. Very well engineered. And it's deceptive because of the cutout there for your thumb. It looks super thin, but you actually have the width of the entire liner. Now, the entire liner itself, and the whole thing there is kind of chamfered a little bit. So you kind of have to, even there it is. A little deceptive. But, so anyway, the action on this is just super good. I mean, awesome. The blade reminds me of the Benchmade Onslaught. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I like the Benchmade Onslaught. A little slightly different shape to it. But it really reminds me of that with this big flipper fin kind of on top. But full flat ground, so great for slicing. And it has really nice grind lines on it, which I'm all about. I'm all about the nice grind lines. Very subtle, but they look nice. It reminds me of a shark. It fills your hand out a lot. It's a chunky kind of knife, but like I said, great grip. You've got this kind of medium aggressivity. That's a word that I just put into English language usage. Aggressivity. I don't know if that's a real word or not, but jimping up here where your thumb would rest. What I do like about this shape, and this is what I always liked about the Onslaught, is that it's perfect if you want to kind of lay your finger on for some really fine control of the tip of the blade for doing different tasks. And I like it here too. The Onslaught, by the way, long since retired by Benchmade. They might still be making the mini Onslaught, I'm not sure. But this would be about the size of a mini Onslaught blade, roughly. So, you know, good grip and control. That clip is in your hand a little bit. You can feel it just slightly. Just slightly. Not too bad, actually. You can definitely notice it's there. Again, chunk factor of the knife. You can really get a good grip on the knife. Of course, there are no right angles. Well, a little bit on the bottom, but it's still, again, it's ground down on the corners. I don't feel any real hot spots except maybe where the clip comes in if you're doing long-term cutting. But like back to the blade, so full flat ground blade, excellent for slicing and doing those kinds of tasks. D2 steel is going to hold that edge for a really long time. And yes, now we're gonna come into, you know, the question of maintenance and upkeep. So yeah, you're gonna have to show your blade a little bit of love. You're gonna have to give it a wipe down. In a humid area, you're gonna have to make sure it's either oiled or kept dry for corrosion purposes, but it's really not the pain in the ass that a lot of people make it out to be. You can see they included a sharpening choil that is kind of integral with your flipper, so sharpening it won't be a problem. It's got a kind of a nice shape overall. I find that Kubey knives, kind of their designs, sort of, they have kind of a flow from the tip of the knife all the way to the handle. Something I could see myself carrying around and using EDC wise. And this is a relatively thick blade. This could get you through some hard use stuff. Remember, because I'm special and I make things up as I go along, I've thrown in EDC, and in between EDC and hard use, rugged use. Because sometimes a knife just doesn't feel like it's going to give you that hard use. This might be somewhere in the middle of rugged use and hard use. You definitely EDC it. It's got the weight. It's going to take up room in your pocket, I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's wide. I have a little ruler around here somewhere. I also have a big ruler around here. Let's see exactly how wide this thing is. I mean, it's 3/4 of an inch wide, which doesn't sound like much when you say it, but that's a wide knife, you know, in your pocket. Now again, that goes to good firm grip, that goes to solid material, but to have that in your pocket all day, that could, not everybody's going to like that. Now, in terms of, giving you a good platform, though, for solid cutting, maybe with, this thick blade, let's see, yeah, about 4 millimeters thick, like, you could probably baton this through some good-sized wood. You could probably do some light chopping with this. I would say that, yeah, you could. Wow, I love that sound. I would say that you could probably take this on a good adventure. Clip is really solid, by the way. They say, and I don't necessarily always agree with it, but they say that if you're going to put a knife on a belt, it should be tipped down for safety reasons. So, if you're going to carry this kind of externally, it's all set up for that. I always prefer my knife to be tip up, because when I draw it out with the the clip wherever it is, it's always in the position that as soon as I draw it out of the pocket or wherever it is, then I'm ready to, as opposed to I pull it out of the pocket or whatever, and then I've got to rotate it. That's just that's why I always like things that are tip up. But this knife it has that good weight to where you know it's in your hand, and you'll know if it falls off your belt or out of your pocket or something. And here's the best part. So this thing, the price normally is $36, which is a pretty affordable knife for a lot of people, not everybody. But right now it's on sale for $26. And that's the thing that, like I said, that I love about Kubey. You get a lot of knife for your money with Kubey. I have yet, 100% truth, to meet somebody that bought a Kubey knife and said to me, it fell apart, it didn't last, what a piece of shit. Honestly, never in my life. And I've recommended Kubey knives to a lot of people. And that's why, you guys know me, I'm very resistant to any kind of I don't know what the word is, product placement or sponsorship or anything like that. I never want to give you guys any reason to doubt when I say a knife is good or a product is good or anything. I never ever want to give you a reason for you guys to doubt when I say I believe in something, I believe in it. But that's why when some companies say, hey, we want to send you a sample, we want you to show it on the channel, I'm very selective about it. And when Kubey says, hey, we have a knife we'd really like to send you to have you review, I'm like, yeah, go ahead, because I really believe in the brand. I've been carrying it personally and buying them personally long before they ever thought I was cool enough to show off their stuff. You know what I mean? So let's check out and boy, would I look like a big jackass now if this thing was dull and everything. But very nice. I should not be doing. There we go. Oh. Man, that is gorgeous. That edge, it just feels like nothing. And again, when the difference between Kubey's really high-end stuff and their kind of moderately priced stuff is really materials and the artistic finishing. The quality factor is the same across the board. Let's do a pull through. Little harder than I wanted, but look how, perfectly clean cut and everything. I'm going to do the slicey dicey. Yeah, that blade hardly moves before it goes through. Awesome. Take a look at the lockup there. Okay. And now we haven't looked at the centering like up close, but it is perfect. Love the action on this. Ready? 10 whacks, and nothing has not moved. And centering still holds perfect. Action is still great. Zero blade play. Mechanically perfect. This is a really cool knife, and very affordable. And I get it. Like for some people, you know, $30 is still a bit of money to put down on a knife. But once again, I'm going to tell you my theory. It is so much better to save a little bit of money and pay for a knife that is going to last you than to, you know, buy a $10 gas station knife that is guaranteed to break and you're going to have to replace it over and over and over again. And when people ask me, you know, what's a good affordable knife company, this is always on the tip of my tongue. If this is listed on Amazon, I'll put it on my Amazon influencer list so it's nice and easy to find. But very different kind of design from Kubey, but definitely cool looking, dependable, as always, great action. You know, I didn't do the usual, so I've been doing the light switch kind of flip with this just by nature of the shape of the flipper. Can you do a push button? Yeah, you can do a push button flip too. Has some features that I'm not crazy about, you know, that I talked about, but overall, solid knife from Kubey, as always, as usual. And I'm definitely going to pick one up in the other G10 color too. All right, guys, thoughts, opinions, questions, comments. What do you got? If, you know, honestly, if there is somebody out there that has a negative Kubey experience, I'd like to know about it, because I have never heard one. And if somebody has something to say about it, you know, share with the group. I haven't ever heard a bad Kubey experience. They're really good. They're really good, solid knives. And I can't wait to show you. The Raven is the one that's on its way now. It looks awesome. But okay, so the KU234, cool knife, affordable knife. So while I anxiously await all of your comments, remember that you guys are all absolutely awesome. I appreciate every single one of you. And I will be back again real soon.